The Denver Nuggets have been getting busy so far in this NBA offseason. Not only did they go out and pick up three three draft picks in this year's NBA draft, but they are making a very, very conscious effort to surround their two-time MVP, Nikola Jokic, with as much talent as they possibly can because they have failed to do so, honestly, in the last couple of years. Well, not failed to do so. That talent has just been injured, and it's coming back. And Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray finally coming off that ACL tear. The Nuggets are finally returning to full health. They add in a very, very nice 3-and-D wing in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and a lockdown defender. He'll probably be coming off the bench in Bruce Brown, who turned down more money to come to Denver. We're going to be talking about all that and more today in this video. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video. Also, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button, as well as leave me a comment down below, as all three things will really help us out in the YouTube algorithm. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this year's NBA draft, where they picked up Christian Braun, a 6'7", 215-pound wing from Kansas. He averaged 14 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal last year while shooting at 50% from the field, 39% from three. He's actually a sneaky good athlete, an absolute sniper from downtown, of course. He's also sneaky good at finishing, and he's a nice on-ball defender. Now, I did not see him go to his left hand very often. He struggles with consistency and a mid-range, so I had a second-round grade on him. Thought he would be a decent 3-and-D guy in the right spot, and he's in a good spot in Denver. So I feel like he was a big winner of draft night. They also pick up Peyton Watson at number 30. I didn't even get around to scouting him. Didn't think he would go in the first round at all. Didn't really think he was going to go in the top 45 after a disappointing year at UCLA. But hey, he ends up going in the first round just solely based off of potential, and we'll get to see him play in the Summer League this year. Now, Ismail Kamagate out of France, seen as one of the bigger projects in this year's draft, and this seems like a Nuggets pick. They pick a lot of projects, right? Bobo, Michael Porter Jr., and now Ismail Kamagate, and they've got a nice history of developing those guys. So if Kamagate can develop into even a backup center to replace DeAndre Jordan, they've hit there at 46. Now, let's take a look at the new additions to this Denver Nuggets squad, where they make a trade with the Washington Wizards here just the other day, sending out the fan favorite Monte Morris, and we have a whole section of the video dedicated to why they had to do that, so make sure you stick around. And they also send out Will Barton, getting off of his large contract, and bringing in Ish Smith, who is about to be an NBA record holder. If he suits up for the Denver Nuggets and plays in one single game, he will play for the most NBA teams in the history of the league, or more than any other player in the history of the league. But the big prize here for Denver is getting Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, that high-level 3-and-D guard that they have not had for Nikola Jokic ever since he got here and became an MVP. So that's the big get of the trade for the Nuggets, and I actually like it for Denver and for Washington. I think it's a win-win. Ish Smith gives them a little more point guard depth. Don't think he'll really see the court next year all that much, though. Now, Bruce Brown is brought in on a 2-year deal worth, I believe, $13 million. He averaged 9 points per game last year, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Brooklyn Nets. And to get him away from them on that cheap of a contract is a major win. He only played in 24 minutes per game last year. Wasn't really an offensive threat, with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden there for the majority of the year. He was, an afterthought on offense, but very efficient. 51% from the field, 41% from three, and 1.1 steals. Again, in those limited minutes, I thought it was very impressive get, especially at that price. So hats off to the Nuggets for pulling that one off. They also bring in DeAndre Jordan to play the backup center role. I think DeAndre is a little bit washed. Not really the biggest fan of this signing. Thought they should have brought back Boogie. I think they still can. He's still a free agent, so we'll see if they do. Now, the unfortunate reality of the NBA, it is a business, and it was time for Monte Morris to go. You hate to see him go if you're a Nuggets fan. A fan favorite up in Denver, but with Jamal Murray coming back, and you also got Bones Highland, who emerged last year as a very, very nice backup point guard option, you had the flexibility to move Monte Morris. And Monte Morris was the key piece in, one, them being able to get off of Will Barton's contract, which obviously they were able to do as he was sent to Washington. And two, they were able to bring in, of course, that high level, the elite level 3-and-D wing that we talked about that they wanted to bring in for Nikola Jokic ever since he's become an MVP. And they were able to do both of those things at the price of Monte Morris. So, at the end of the day, the NBA's business, that's the tough side of it. But hopefully he plays well in Washington. Now, Nikola Jokic is simply insane. Of course, he was a part of that huge wave of younger NBA stars getting their Supermax extensions, and Nikola Jokic, truly one of a kind. He is the first $260 million player in NBA history. He's the first second-round pick to win multiple MVPs. His pick was announced during a Taco Bell commercial, and he went on to win 2 MVPs. That's crazy. He is the only player with 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists in the season, and he is the only player currently with a 25 point per game, 13 rebound, and 6 assist season, as well as the only center with 20 10 assist games at the age of 27. This man, he's gonna accomplish a lot more before his time in the NBA is done as well, because he could play till he's 40, maybe 45, maybe 50. He doesn't rely on athleticism at all. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this Nuggets squad for next year, and it's back to being high level. It looks like that Western Conference Finals team, except the additions of Aaron Gordon and Kentavious Caldwell. Wait, was Aaron Gordon on that squad? I don't think so. But Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, yeah, because he was on the Magic in the bubble. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope there added in at the 2, so it's Jamal Murray and KCP in the backcourt. That's a nice backcourt. You got your scoring in Jamal Murray, who was a 21 point per game scorer, of course, before he went out, and then the 3-and-D guy in KCP. Michael Porter Jr., we hope he returns back to form next year. That's a huge part of Nuggets' success. Aaron Gordon down there at the 4 playing, being the superstar role player that he is very, very good at being. And then Nikola Jokic, of course, the 2-time MVP at the 5 spot, holding it down. Now, let's take a look at the bench, and they'll have a lot of guys playing off the bench this year. First, let's look at the guards, where you got Bones Highland. He's the solidified day one backup point guard. There's no debating that. Of course, Ish Smith will probably get some run. He's not pictured here, but he will get some run. Bruce Brown, he's going to be the backup 2 guard as well. So you got Highland and Brown as your backcourt off the bench, and then it might be Christian Brown at the 3, Jeff Green at the 4, but I think they want to get Zeke Naji some run. So if I had to guess, Jeff Green would be coming off the bench playing the 3 with Zeke Naji at the 4. Of course, I'm no Nuggets expert, so Nuggets fans, y'all let me know down in the comments below if I'm getting something wrong. But it would probably, in my opinion, be Jeff Green and Zeke Naji with DeAndre Jordan at the 5, and then Christian Brown playing his way into the lineup as the year goes on. Peyton Watson potentially getting some playing time as well on down the line. Now, a bounce back year. This is critical for the Nuggets to have a nice season. Is a bounce back year from Michael Porter Jr. He was atrocious last year in the 9 games that he played, so he's got to come back. He's got to be that Michael Porter Jr. that put up almost 20 a game on over 50% shooting and 44 or something percent from the 3. That's got to be the Michael Porter Jr. we see this year. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the Nuggets squad heading into next season down below. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point, and make sure to leave me a comment down below. Like I said, as it really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.